and welcome back to episode 14 of Pilates Flows at Atlantis, a series where I will demonstrate and give you the tools to do the sequences I post on Instagram. Now let's get started. So in today's episode, I'm very excited because we'll be doing some of my favorite leg and back moves on the reformer. We're going to start out with a sissy squat on the reformer. Now this is a gym move that I was able to modify and bring to the reformer. You will need a strap on the deck. If you do not have that, you cannot do this move. Then we'll be doing two different rowing variations using the foot bar instead of our straps. And then we'll finish off with two different back bend variations, one a more advanced, one a modification. Now, let's get started. To get started, let's move the foot bar to the third position or the third indention on the reformer frame. Once that's set, make sure that your strap is set to its tightest position. To get into the sissy squat position, first step onto the box, then bring your feet underneath the strap on top of the deck. Widen your feet as far as they'll go. Lean your weight back into the foot bar. From this position, bend your knees, squatting as deep as you can before pressing through the heels to come back up. Remember to keep your weight back against the foot bar, and you may need to keep a slight bend in the knees and hips. On your last rep, we'll pause halfway down and pulse up and down for 15 reps to finish off the quads. For our back work, we'll now move the foot bar to the halfway point down the carriage and put on 3 reds and 1 blue spring. For our first rowing variation, we'll grab the foot bar with an underhand grip. On your exhale, pull yourself forward, bringing your chest all the way up to the bar before carefully releasing back. For our first back bend, bring your hands to the deck behind you. Fingertips could face back, out, or towards your hips, whichever works best for your shoulders. Then press down through your heels, squeeze your inner thighs, and lift your hips as high to the ceiling as you can before carefully lowering back down. For a rear delt row, switch to 2 red springs. Then grab the foot bar on top, wide to the edges. Pull your chest all the way up to the bar before releasing all the way back. For our modified version of our back bend, again, we'll bring our hands to the deck behind us, fingertips either facing forward, out, or backwards. Then bring your feet to either side of the shoulder blocks. Press down through your hands and feet to lift the hips up to the ceiling as you carefully look back before lowering the hips down. All right, and that is it for today. Now remember, for that first exercise that we did, our sissy squat, we had our foot bar move back to its third position. Then we had our strap as tight as it would go on that deck. To get into it, you got onto the box in front of your reformer. You then slid both feet underneath that strap on top of the deck and then widened your feet as wide as they would go so that strap was nice and tight across the top. You lean back into that foot bar before squatting down as deep as you could and then standing back up. Remember, when you go to stand back up, you may not be able to get full extension without tipping forward, so you may keep a little hinge in your hips. Continue to push that weight back into that foot bar. Then on our last rep, we came about halfway down and we did our pulses there, just finishing off burning up those legs. Then from there, we moved our foot bar to the halfway point on the reformer. We got onto the carriage, we reset our spring, we started with our underhand rowing variation, followed immediately by our advanced version of our back bend with our hands back on the deck. You could do fingertips forward, out, or back, whatever is best for your shoulder, before squeezing the leg muscles in, keeping those legs nice and long, lifting up into as high a back bend as we could, and then leveling back out, coming back down. You did your reps there. Then we changed our spring again. We came into our overhand rowing on that foot bar. Again, doing our reps there, keeping that core tight, chest lifted, before coming into our next back bend variation, the modified version. So you brought your feet to the outside edges of the shoulder blocks. Again, your hands back on the deck, either fingertips forward, out to the side, or back, depending on your shoulder, before again, lifting your hips and lowering. Now, that will be it for today. If you enjoyed the video or if you learned something, please leave me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.